Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav again. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. To state the very obvious, income tax is a tax on income. And if and only if there is income, does the liability to pay tax arise. While income is almost a certainty in the case of salary earners who are gainfully employed, as also those drawing income from rent and interest, that is not so in the case of those who earn income from business. Risk is the name of the game as far as business is concerned, and profits could be elusive to the best of entrepreneurs. So even if the economy grows in a certain period, it doesn't necessarily mean that corporate profits would go up and result in a liability towards income tax. Take the case of the recent third quarter ended December 2018. The economy grew, but corporate profits receded. At best, they stagnated. So there is just no direct connect between growth of an economy, corporate profits, and the resultant tax collections. So as we said, uncertainty is what abounds as far as profits are concerned. And if there is uncertainty in respect of profits of corporates, that needs to be reflected and factored in as far as tax collection targets are concerned. While the past tax collected figures could be a pointer, a reliable pointer for the estimated tax collections for the coming year, and they are used for the purpose of budgetary setting and department administration, but they need not prove to be correct. It is the current year's economic performance which will finally determine what should be the tax collection and what is a realistic target. So, after the tax targets are set for the year, the income tax targets are set for any ensuing financial year. After they are set, they need to be reviewed quarterly. They need to be reviewed with reference to corporate results that get announced, with respect to sectoral indices, with respect to economic trends, and all that helps to realize what is the real state of profits and what is the mismatch or compatibility between the corporate profits and the tax collection targets that have been set. Common sense says that in case, after such a review, it is found out that corporate profits are not up to the mark, then the collection targets must be revised downwards. The unfortunate reality is that while such revisions must be taking place, they really don't result in a revision of the targeted profits in a downward mode. If you actually look at it in the current financial year, despite corporate profits languishing and receding, despite that, the annual collection target of the income tax department mid-year was increased by about 50 to 60,000 crores against the earlier target, which itself was an ambitious one. The reality is that perhaps under the pressure of the political bosses at Delhi, very overambitious income tax collection targets are set year after year. And after they are set, they are actually foisted and forced down upon the hapless taxpayers as also the field officers to somehow extract those targeted figures which at the very inception were not correct. They were with a huge mismatch between the actual economic situation and what was projected to be. If the economy does better, please revise them upwards. But if the economy does not do better, it is time to downward revise them. But that sadly doesn't happen. The officers are forced to then chase the hapless taxpayers who do not have the ability to withstand the might of the income tax department and anyhow recover the targeted tax collections in order to meet the targets. Wherever the demands are not there, thus demands get created. The most unreasonable orders get passed at times, and disputed demands which are known will not see the light of the day in the judiciary. Those very disputed demands are then forcibly collected from the taxpayers, as I said, unable to meet the might of the department. There are instances also where taxpayers are even asked to pay tax notwithstanding the fact that there is no liability, with the promise that we'll refund it to you later, but at the moment, please pay it so that we are able to meet the collection targets. Such is the pressure on officers for collecting the targeted figures that are set. Downward revision, realistic revision, coming down to ground reality is virtually not permitted. The figures, as I said, are revised upwards but not downwards. And as part of this particular culture, what has also happened this year, unfortunately, is appellate officers are virtually being arm twisted to pass orders in favor of the department and not against the assessee, so that demands can be crystallized and forcibly recovered. This particular year, this current financial year, has been seeing yet another continuation of an earlier trend, which is withhold tax refunds. In order to arithmetically balance statistics and say that tax collection figures have been met, the department consciously, deliberately withholds the legitimate tax refund dues of the taxpayers. At the moment, over 1.5 lakh crores of income tax refunds have been held back only because the government of India, the present government, is keen to meet its promised tax collection figures and promised fiscal deficit figure of 3.4%. And in order to do that, they are illegally withholding income tax refunds. The entire collection exercise and the withholding of refunds is actually a sham. It is being done only to prove on record that collection figures were met and the fiscal deficit target was also adhered to in a wholly unrealistic fashion, doctoring the entire statistics. As I said, the current financial year, there is expected to be a huge shortfall of about 60 to 70,000 crores in the collection figures vis-a-vis the target that was set. At the moment, the department is geared up with that reality, but in a very different manner. A CBDT member has written to all the senior officers saying all possible action must be taken to somehow meet these collection targets. That phrase, all possible action, is very ominous. It actually means do what you have to do, but get the tax collected and meet your target. And that do what you do starts getting on to an unhealthy practice, an unfair domain, and an illegal mode of coercive recovery of taxes. This particular trend needs to stop somewhere. Income tax refunds need to be given where they are due, and only if the tax is legitimately due must it be collected. The might of the department cannot be used against a hapless taxpayer to collect taxes which are not really due and to also ensure that somehow targets are met. The department needs to realize that if enterprises don't thrive and survive, where will the tax be collected from? It is in the interest of the department itself that the entire process is judicious so that enterprises continue to do good, and if they do good, there are more profits. Tax collections will anyway go up on their own in the long run. These short-term measures are dangerous, debilitating, and not in the interest of the economy, and neither in the interest of the income tax department. And if these practices do not stop, you can be sure very soon the department will be flogging dead horses. They will be flogging enterprises which have actually closed down, or they have got so decimated that they have no liability to pay taxes and neither the resources to do so, even if the CBDT may say take all possible action to recover taxes. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
HW News Network today is a year and a half old. Thanks to your support, thanks to your love, we've grown. We require your support a little more. What we request you to do is to download our free app. Our app is in Hindi, English and Marathi. We promise to update you with the latest news, views, analysis, interview. We also have a live TV going in that. If you download our app, we will get advertisers. And if we get advertisers, we'll get revenue. We get revenue, we can serve you better. So once again, please do support us. Please download our app. Namaskar.
If you like this video, please share it and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.